So hello, in the last video we saw about cap stage, right? In this video we will see about bell stage, the next stage in tooth development. So literally, where did the name bell come from? This is this image of a cap stage you could see here. So this is what the enamel organ looks like this. This is the cap. It evolves to this shape. So the enamel organ evolves to this shape, and this is where the bell is. I think so, because I'm also not sure of where the bell name comes. So I think this is the reason. If it is wrong, please correct me in the comments. So you cannot expect an exact bell to be here, right? It's a tooth forming. So this is the enamel organ in a bell stage. Invagination of epithelium deepens. So the invagination of epithelium, enamel organ which was a bud has become a cap and has turned to a bell. The invagination, this part deepens here, and enamel organ turns to bell shape. Crown shape is determined during this bell stage. It is the most important thing, as you could see here. So this is a central incisor or lateral incisor, some anterior tooth, right? So the crown shape is determined here. This is your future tooth forming. So the bell stage helps in the determination of the crown shape. Folding of the enamel organ to cause different crown shapes. So this is for an anterior tooth. Obviously for a molar or premolar it will be different due to differential rates of mitosis. How does this folding happen? This folding happens because the mitosis happens at different rate here and at different rate here. So this difference is resulting in the folding of enamel organ, and differences in cell differentiation time. So that is the reason. The different rates of cell maturing will be the reason for foldings. Differentiation starts only when division stops, which means the cells have stopped dividing. So here the inner enamel organ has stopped dividing and started differentiating into what is the most famous cells for tooth formation? Ameloblast, followed by odontoblasts, right? So the inner enamel cells, epithelial cells, will be the future ameloblasts. That is the cells responsible for enamel formation. This is the future cusp tip or the incisor ledge. So the differentiation starts here first, followed by the so the last part will be the cervical end. So it will be starting here, and progressively the last part to mature will be your cervical region. So at the future cusp tips, differentiation starts. At cervix, differentiation is the last. So the inner enamel epithelium will be your ameloblasts from now on. The morphogenesis is the determination of crown shapes, the name given, right? So morphogenesis is usually determined by the genes. How do you know one enamel organ will be a central incisor, another enamel organ will be leading to a molar or a premolar? So the reason is the genetic setup, signaling molecules, and growth factors. A defect in these will cause a defect in morphogenesis. We have seen, right, anomalies in the shape of teeth in developmental anomalies. If you want to know more about developmental anomalies, comment. I have already a video on that. I may summarize it again for you in another video. So the epithelial cells in the bell stage, what are the epithelial cells? IEE, the inner enamel epithelium, will be your ameloblast. Outer enamel epithelium will be just cuboidal cells in this stage. Then you have stellate reticulum in between. Then stratum intermedium, one new layer has started. The area I'm shading now will be your stratum intermedium. So stellate reticulum and stratum intermedium will undergo a lot of changes from bell stage to the advanced bell stage. So junction between inner enamel epithelium and outer enamel epithelium is called cervical loop. Exactly this part. So this will be your cervix of the tooth, and this is the junction of the inner enamel and outer enamel epithelium. This will be your cervical loop. In this region alone, intense mitotic activity will happen. This will be the last region to mature, as I said before. This will be your first region to differentiate. This will be the last region to mature, and there will be intense mitotic activity there. Inner enamel epithelium has a single layer of cells now, differentiate into tall columnar cells called ameloblasts. The cells are tall columnar. It is functioning, it is secreting enamel. So the nucleus will be located in the opposite side. So as you could see here, I hope you could see here, tall columnar cells differentiated into ameloblasts. It is approximately 4 to 5 micrometer in diameter and 10 times 40 micrometer in height. So how elongated the cells are, right? So to prove that, you should know the dimensions. It exerts an influence on the dental papilla, that is the cells here. It exerts an influence on the dental papilla, which later differentiates into odontoblasts. The small cells which are lining up here are the pre-odontoblasts. So their function is to form dentin. Ameloblasts will influence the dental papilla. These elongated cells will influence the dental papilla to differentiate into odontoblasts, and the odontoblasts will be the first cells to secrete a layer of dentin, followed by enamel secretion starts. So the dentin will be the shape of the tooth, determine the shape of the tooth. Here the elongated cells are influencing dental papilla. That is what you should know. Then our next layer, we saw about inner enamel epithelium, how it is changing to ameloblast. Now stratum intermedium. It is between stellate reticulum and inner enamel epithelium. Exactly this part I have marked here, right? This is your inner enamel epithelium. And these cells form the stratum intermedium. It is between your stellate reticulum, the star-shaped reticular cells. Between the both stellate reticulum and the inner enamel epithelium, you have stratum intermedium. You should know certain facts about stratum intermedium. It has well-developed organelles, acid mucopolysaccharides are present, and glycogen deposits. All these are proof that there is high metabolic activity in these cells. Okay, and stratum intermedium is essential for enamel formation, because in the part of the enamel organ which forms, in the part of the tooth organ which forms root, after the stage we will read about Hertwig's epithelial root sheath. In that stage, okay, when the root forms, there is no stratum intermedium, whereas when enamel is forming, there is stratum intermedium, which proves stratum intermedium is essential for enamel formation. Okay, it is absent in the part of the enamel organ or tooth organ where root forms. Okay, and stellate reticulum, the next layer we saw about stratum intermedium. It lies between stellate reticulum and inner enamel epithelium. Stellate reticulum, star-shaped cells, which means stellate, and linked to each other means reticulum. It is what we saw in the cap stage. Star-shaped interlinked cells, stellate reticulum. It expands further compared to the cap stage. Compared to the stellate reticulum in the cap stage, it expands further here because of the increase in the amount of intracellular fluid. Okay. Then after which, as we saw in the previous video, they are star-shaped shells and anastomose with the adjacent cells forming a network. Once enamel starts forming, stellate reticulum shrinks. Once the enamel starts forming, stellate reticulum's function, that is the cushioning effect, okay, the need to protect the enamel organ, dental papilla, will reduce. So the stellate reticulum starts shrinking. Stellate reticulum shrinks to bring and another reason for the stellate reticulum to shrink is because till now the source of nutrients for these cells was from the dental papilla. The nutrients were from here. But once dentin and enamel starts forming, they will mineralize. After mineralization, there is no way for the capillaries to provide nutrients to the outer enamel epithelium and other cells, inner enamel epithelium. So the stellate reticulum shrinks. After the shrinking of stellate reticulum, the capillaries, that is in the dental sac, okay, and there will be foldings in the outer enamel epithelium. The foldings in the outer enamel epithelium will bring the capillaries in the dental sac or follicle closer to the cells of inner enamel epithelium or ameloblasts. So to provide the stellate reticulum, which is here, will shrink, providing the capillaries, the folds in the outer enamel epithelium, to provide nutrition to the inner enamel epithelium, or else because of the mineralized layer dentin and enamel, there is no nutrient supply from the dental papilla like how it was before. So this is some theory. I hope you understood it. So to bring the nutrient capillaries near OEE, close to ameloblasts, this change begins at the cusp tip and progresses cervically. So the enamel starts forming here and progresses cervically. Similarly, shrinkage also starts here and progresses cervically. Outer enamel epithelium has flattened cells, which was cuboidal before the Bell stage. OE was smooth, but now foldings will start happening. As you could see here, the foldings. Before this is how it was before the Bell stage started. After Bell stage, the outer enamel epithelium will start showing foldings. After this foldings, between the fold, adjacent mesenchyme of dental sac will form a temporary papillae which will provide nutrition. This papilla contains capillary loops which we saw now, provide rich nutritional supply for intense metabolic activity of the enamel organ. Now enamel organ is literally avascular. There is no blood supply within it, and previously dental papilla was supplying it. Now since mineralized enamel and dentin have formed, it is the role of these capillaries to provide nutrients to the ameloblast and outer enamel epithelium, because original dental papilla will no longer supply nutrients because of the mineralized dentin. So I'm actually repeating the same point over thrice because you should understand. Dental lamina, this part in Bell stage, extends lingually. What is the name of the extension? Successional lamina. It will give you permanent successors of deciduous teeth. Okay. If there is a distal lamina, for example, you have central incisor to second molar in your primary dentition, right? From there you need 6, 7, 8 that future molars to happen. For them you will have distal lamina, distal extension. Here there is a lingual extension, which means successional lamina. It will be the permanent successors of the deciduous teeth. So permanent successors come from the successional lamina, which is happening in the Bell stage. Dental papilla, which is enclosed within the enamel organ, here what changes happens in Bell stage. Mesenchyme bordering the inner enamel epithelium differentiate into odontoblast. We saw already, right? This lining of cells, this is the future odontoblast. Before enamel formation it happens, and by the influence of the epithelium it happens, because the first layer to form is dentin. Odontoblast, first it was cuboidal, then columnar. First a layer of dentin is formed before enamel. So membrana performativa is a temporary structure. It is the basement membrane that separates the dental papilla. This is the basement membrane. Okay, it separates the dental papilla and the enamel organ just prior to dentin formation. Once dentin starts, there is no membrana performativa. And dental sac. It is a circular arrangement of fibers are seen here in the dental sac. It will be your future PDL, periodontal ligament, once root starts forming. So till now there is circular arrangement of fibers. After root develops, you will have PDL forming. Now this is the diagram of a Bell stage. This is your oral epithelium. This is your dental lamina. This is stellate reticulum. You have dental follicle or dental sac here. Then this is your inner enamel epithelium, stratum intermedium. This is your cervical loop and dental papilla. Okay, so we have seen all the parts here. Hope this was useful to you. In the next video we will see about advanced Bell stage. Okay, advanced Bell stage is characterized by the commencement of mineralization. You could see here enamel and dentin forming, the mineralization and root formation. So that will be your next video. So see you soon in the next video. Thank you.